Welcome back on the channel. This is VST here, Velian, and this is my Pixel 10 Pro. I just installed the Android 17 stable update. Yeah, this thing is out and coming from QPR 1 Beta 3. Of course, I had to do a full reset. So what I experience right now is if I would go to a shop and buy a brand new phone with Android 17 on top. So now Android 17 is officially here, and of course the first phones to experience Pixel 10 Pro and the lineup, and of course others as well, but this is the latest and greatest still. Google is calling this an adaptive first update, meaning that it completely changes how we're supposed to multitask, create content, and of course also protect our phones. So although it might seem like a very big update, let me tell you, I'm gonna be very honest with you, there are not really a whole lot new features that I can showcase, but there are some and they're pretty cool, and I'm gonna of course share everything there. They did a lot of bug fixing and they included some nice tweaks as well, but of course you are not going to get all the latest and greatest features here, not even the one that you would have if you're running Android 17 QPR 1 Beta 3, and a lot of the things that Google announced are going to hit the shelf later, hopefully September, maybe as new Pixel drops, and also of course through the QPR. So first things first, let me show you, this is the version, it's Android 17, the Android security update from the 5th of June. The Google Play system update is from the 1st of May, and this thing here is the build number. Okay, you can see down below, it's CP2A 260605.012. Now, something that I will always do on any of my phones, specifically when I'm jumping from version to a version. So this is not really a random firmware update, it's a whole new Android version. I'll go to manage apps and devices and I'll check all the updates available, because believe it or not, a lot of updating still needs to be done after this as part of really setting up your phone. So I'm just gonna hit update all, and by the way, you can see my time is not okay because I'm using the 24 format, and also I don't have any battery indication. Also something very important to be considered, if you ever buy a Pixel phone and you go inside the display and touch, you're gonna see that you're not actually using the highest available resolution. In the screen resolution you have high, but hey, you can also go and do max. The same behavior we can see in Samsung and of course in any other phones on the market. Something else that is very important, once you're inside your settings, click on your profile, select all the services and scroll down to system services. It should be down below, and this is very important, guys, because believe it or not, there are even further updates there. All right, and I am using some of the system services as a beta. I can decide to leave the beta or stay. What I'm gonna do, I will stay. So updates available, all right? It's pretty important what you can do from here, just do a manual update the way I'm gonna do it right now. All right, make sure that you update all these settings, because some of the features might be related to that. Some of the features that Google are launching are entirely server-side based. This means that whatever you do, you'll still not have it until Google decides to kind of push it for your regions. So first, make sure to update all of your applications and then update all of your system services. And before I start with latest and greatest features, like I said, not that many, but still I guess important, I want to show you the Google official tips. All right, this is the application. What's new when you go there? We can only see 4 big things. So we have the screen reactions, I'm going to demonstrate this. We have the bubbles, which is apparently how we're supposed to handle multitasking right now. And then, yeah, the other 2 are around AI things. Music creation made simple. Yeah, you guessed that correctly, inside Gemini and Gemini Omni. All right, blend text, images, and video, bring your ideas to life. So we were able to use Google Nano Banana until now to alter and tweak and create images, but now they have something for video as well. Now, I'm gonna show you the first feature, and this is the multitasking feature called the bubbles. How does that thing work? So let me open YouTube. I'm gonna open YouTube. I'm gonna just minimize it. What if I wanna use the bubbles? Click here, then it's going to be something on that right corner which is going to indicate, hey, I can run in a bubble. So you can open this application, you can just put it on the screen where you want, and actually the animation is pretty cool. And guess what, you can do more. So I'm also gonna open Spotify. I'm gonna hit here, yeah, bubble, and now I have the Spotify here. All right, and I have also YouTube. And by the way, you can see the animation is pretty cool, right? So I can decide to close that application. I can just close, let's say, Spotify, or I can decide to close all of them. Okay, how does this happen? If I just hold all of them, I can close everything simultaneously. Now let's try to open also Instagram. Okay, I'm just gonna open it and show you. By the way, some people are reporting that with Android 17, apparently, you can use now camera stabilization. I'm not really a big Instagram user, but I guess if you're shooting videos, that might be important for you. Yeah, hope. If you have Instagram and Android 17, go test it out. So right now I have YouTube, I have Instagram, and I have here my Spotify. All right, now let's just open one more. So I'm just going to open Facebook. And how much do I have right now? All right, so I have Facebook, I have Spotify, all right, and I have YouTube. By the way, the animation is quite cool. I can just drag them like that, so I can decide to put them anywhere on the screen. Again, you have the option to close individual application, right, like that one, or this one, and of course you have an option to close all of them. What is going to happen if I want to add another one? So let's just try to open Play Store in a bubble. Okay, bubble is here. Right now I have 1, okay, 2, 3, 4, 5 application. Can I add more? Let's try to put Google Photos there. So I'm just gonna add bubble here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see up to 5 applications. And by the way, this is gonna work pretty cool. You can see it's Instagram. All right, it's gonna be YouTube here. Then I have the Play Store one more time. Where the heck is Play Store? Here I have my Play Store, so I can navigate to Play Store. Spotify. Can you do more from here? No, you cannot really rearrange them. But again, you have the option to just manually close a single application. And of course, you get to minimize all of it. So according to Google, this should completely redefine, multitasking on a phone. Honestly, again, it's not a new concept. I really like it though. So now I'm just going to demonstrate one by one. I'm just gonna close first my Google Photos and then leave only these 4, and now I'm gonna must close all of them. Boom, as simple as that. And this is going to bring me to the second big thing, because remember, even inside my Pixel, in what's new, they will tell you 4 things, and the first one I already showed you, that's the bubbles. What about the screen reactions? Okay, now screen reactions is something interesting. The way it works is you just go and uncollapse your quick panel setting and you hit the screen recording button. Now they change this interface as well, so you can decide to only record a single app, and then you can just go single app and you can choose the app to be recorded. You're gonna get all the apps here that are open, which is pretty cool, I guess. And then you can record your entire screen. Now you can record device audio and microphone. You can also show touches, and now the big new thing, this is the screen reactions. I hope that you can see this on the screen. All right, now I can click on my face, I can rotate it, and I can make it bigger actually. Now the good thing is, as you can see on the screen, this thing supports green screen, all right? And this is why they call it, it's like native content creation base. So you're supposed to use this and open TikTok and just react on some random, silly, maybe funny, maybe stupid, maybe clever videos. Anyway, it's there, but it's get even better because you can click here on that arrow and you can actually customize the colors. So you can have this color or that color, all right? If you don't want the color, you hit the color again and it's become like a green screen. And again, you can just go and really use this everywhere on the screen. I'm gonna show you. So I'm gonna go inside my settings menu. So I will be now in the settings and I'm still able to react to something. Now it gets even better because from here, once you just hit a color, you can tap on the figure and this is gonna change shapes. And I think this is pretty cool, by the way. Again, like I don't really want to dismiss this feature. I will probably not use it that much, but who knows, maybe I'm gonna still use this for like short content creation, because these days how YouTube is pushing things. Anyway, all right, now there's something else. The moment I start the recorder, my face is gonna be there. I can still make myself bigger or smaller, and then again, if I want to change something, there's gonna be this new fancy animation. Take a look, boom, flying from the top, and then again, if I just go back here, I'm able to put all kind of colors, but the moment the recording starts, I'm no longer able to change the shape. But you get this new context menu, which I think looks pretty good. So let me know what you think about these screen reaction things. Like, is this something, guys, you're gonna use, or probably not at all? Now let me show you a hidden feature. I don't really see many people talking about this, but I believe it's quite important. For that hidden setting, you need to enable the developer options. How does this work? Just go inside your settings, go to about phone, you're gonna have build number, just click or tap 7 times, and then you're gonna get a message, hey, you are a developer. Once that's done, you can just go and search for developers options, Inside developers options, scroll down to Bluetooth, and once your headphones are connected, you can actually go to the Bluetooth audio codec. Now, I'm using my Soundpeats. Honestly, they're really great pair of devices, and yeah, they support LDAC. Once you click on the Bluetooth audio codec, you're gonna see that you have an option to change them. Now again, my pair of headphones do only support SBC, AAC, and LDAC, but Android 17 introduced native support for LHDC V5 Bluetooth codec. So if you have a pair of advanced headphones that support it, you can go and use LHDC V5 Bluetooth codec. This transmits audio at up to 1 megabit per second, and this is kind of like triple the data that you can get using SBC. I'm very close with LDAC, but hey, this is something that you should know, and not a lot of people are talking about this. Some of the more backend features include a redesign on the anti-theft security. Now with Android 17, Google are trying to make this harder for people that apparently will snatch up your phone. So you have this Find Hub from where you can just go, hit remote lock, you can check your SIM and stuff like this. You can also mark your phone as lost. Now, I don't think that's available yet for me because I guess it's still updating some things, but this should be available here. So apparently if someone is watching you type your passcode and they get your phone, they should not be able to turn off the tracking because Google reduced the number of the failed PIN attempts, and then they also enforce longer wait times between them. They're trying to improve the whole security of the system, which is a good thing. Some other but small things, if you just go on your connected devices, right now I have my buds connected. If I scroll down here, there's gonna be a new menu called Bluetooth Diagnostic, which can be useful provided that the phone is able to get a hold of your device that is connected. Honestly, I was able to do so. If I click other, I just go back at some point, yeah, Soundpeats will appear. While you're inside, you can do diagnosis. So let's say I can play media audio. So right now it's gonna check the Bluetooth connection, and by the way, it's gonna play a test sound that I can, hear from here. All right, and yeah, does it work? I think it does. So I'm just gonna press yes, and then Bluetooth diagnostic is complete. There are more options for this. They can play some sounds around, test the microphone. Again, some of the small, rather under the hood improvements, but still a good thing. Let's now go back on the home screen and show you some of the changes from Android 16 to 17, specifically one that was nagging me a lot. In Android 16, we would get like an internet menu here that was really annoying because provided you're using a SIM card like eSIM or regular SIM and also Wi-Fi, just to turn off the Wi-Fi, you should have clicked on the internet and then get additional pop-up and then do it from there, which was really driving me crazy. So right now you don't have to do so, okay? Right now, straight away from here, you get to choose, oh, I want to kill my Wi-Fi or I want to kill my mobile data. So in Android 17, they split back officially the Wi-Fi from the mobile data tiles, which is pretty good because right now Wi-Fi is only for Wi-Fi, and I think this is pretty good. And also there is a brand new thing called the satellite connectivity shortcut. This is this thing here, okay? I'm just gonna add it and I'm gonna show you, all right? So if you have a Pixel 10 Pro, whatever, this is it. Satellite connectivity gets also its own toggle. So as I said, we now have a Wi-Fi only toggle. We're gonna have also the mobile data toggle, and this is so cool that they brought this back. Now, there are also other changes, but some of them you're not able to see, not at least in the Android 17 stable. If you go back and look my Android 17 QPR beta tree, you're gonna notice that we have a lot of this, what I can call like frosted glass effect everywhere, not in Android 17 stable, but the only place where this frosted glass kind of blur effect will manifest itself is inside the widgets menu. So right now you can see I have this thing here, the widgets, and then down below I'm still able to see through the frosted glass. Some people might call this, hey, it's a repo from Apple. No, Apple did not invent it, and yeah, they're using liquid glass. This thing here is totally different, and it's sure that Android and Google will introduce more and more system-wide blur effects like this. Then again, if you want to check the current state, you can go and watch my Android 17 QPR1 beta tree because these frosted effects appears a lot. One last thing I want to show you is this. I want to open an application like YouTube, all right, and then just kill it. There is this bounciness when I'm going back to the home animation. According to Google, they rewrote Android's memory management, which is kind of like the garbage collector to prevent CPU spikes, which eventually should result into more fluid animations. Is this the truth? Well, without having the same phone with Android 16, I cannot tell. But I can tell you, yeah, this thing really feels fluid. And by the way, sometimes, as you've seen there, it's going to be like a slight bug in that animation that honestly, overall, altogether, this seems to be like a nice thing. So the animations right now are more physically based. If I go here inside my recent menu and I click this and I just go to the split screen, I can choose Spotify, all right, and you can see, right, I can rotate the apps, make it bigger, and this is pretty cool. By the way, we've seen that in some of the more recent updates. You can do like 80/20, and it all feels very nice. You know, there's also this slight haptic feedback. You cannot really see that on a video, but the moment I just drag it with my finger, I can feel the haptic engine of the phone. And honestly, Android used to have one of the best haptics. That's probably still the case right now. So this is Android 17. I'm pretty sure there's going to be also new things that I'm going to discover, or you guys will let me know down below in the comments. Honestly, it feels like just a great update with a small number of features that you can get to see with your own eyes and touch with your own hands, but again, with some under the hood improvements. And yeah, with a very big ambition to just bring even more features for September when we get the Pixel drop, and hopefully before that also able to test these things within the QPR releases. If you have liked this video, you're more welcome to check some of my previous videos and support the channel. Thank you so much. VST over and bye.